Hello and welcome to this episode of Mrs. Mulvey's Math and Physics Movies. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about conical pendulums and some of the key ideas that you need to keep in mind as you are working with them. First of all, let's remember what a conical pendulum is. It's when you have a mass on a string, so the string is providing tension, but instead of a usual pendulum that swings back and forth, in the conical pendulum, much like our flying pegs, the mass moves in a circle. There are some key ideas that you need to keep in mind as you're working with conical pendulums. And if you understand these key ideas, you'll be able to solve almost any exercise that involves conical pendulums. So the first key idea is that there are only two forces that we consider in this scenario. So we are ignoring friction. We're ignoring air resistance. Excuse me. The only two forces at work in these scenarios are tension and gravity. And what that means is this. If you are drawing a free body diagram, or you're asked, maybe you're given a diagram and you're asked to draw the forces at work, you should only be putting two arrows on that diagram. One showing the force of tension in the correct direction, the direction that the string is pulling up the angle, and then the force of gravity pulling straight down. And that's it. You're done. So you're only considering those two forces. The next key idea to keep in mind, though, is that you can break that force of tension into its component parts, and you're going to need to do that, but not on your free body diagram. You're going to give yourself another diagram where you break that force of tension into the component parts. And those component parts are this. There's the force of tension in the y direction and the force of tension in the x direction. And remember, the force of tension in the y direction has the same magnitude as the force of gravity. So what that means is, if you're thinking about just ignoring the signs and just absolute values, force of tension in the y direction equals mg, and the force of tension in the x direction, that's what provides the centripetal force that keeps the mass moving in a circle. So the force of tension in the x direction, that's the centripetal force, that's the mv squared over r. And so if you want to work with that, you're going to give yourself another diagram. So I am going to erase my free body diagram here. And I'm going to give myself another diagram where I am just going to draw just part of this conical pendulum. Here's the center. Here's my string. So here's the force of tension in the x direction. And remember, that equals mv squared over r. That's what's providing the centripetal force. This is just the force of tension overall. That's the string holding it up. And this is the force of tension in the y direction. That's my mg. Remember, I know this equals mg because this mass, this sphere, is not moving upward, nor is it moving downward. It's staying at the same height. That means the upward and downward forces are balanced. So now that I have that set up, and this is consistent, this will always be this way, that the force of tension in the y direction is mg, and the force of the tension in the x direction, providing the centripetal force, is mv squared over r. Now I can set to work answering any questions that I may be presented with. So let's answer this question first. I'm just going to ask you to represent the force of tension of the string using just the variables that we've been given, theta, L representing the length of the string, M representing the mass of the sphere, oops, representing just those, using just those, and any physical constants like G. And so if I think about that force of tension overall, I can see that I've got a right triangle here. I could use the Pythagorean theorem, but that would be a little complicated. Instead, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to look and say, hey, I have this angle theta here. My simplest expression is right here. The force of tension in the y direction equals mg. And I have this great trigonometric ratio. It says, hey, the cosine of an angle like theta is equal to the measure of the adjacent side. In this case, I can write that as mg over the hypotenuse. And so I can solve this for the force of tension. Multiply both sides by force of tension, divide by cosine of theta. And so now I have very simply represented that force of tension. It is mg over the cosine of theta. So now that we have the force of tension in the y direction in terms of m and g, and just the force of tension in terms of mg and theta, let's go ahead and take a look at this third side, because oftentimes you're going to be asked to represent values in terms of m, g, and theta. And so let's take a look at this force of tension in the x direction, and let's represent it just in terms of m, g, and theta. So give me a moment. I'm just going to set up the triangle again. So now I have this drawn. This is just, here's my string with the tension. Force of tension in the y direction is equal to mg. Force of tension in the string is mg over the cosine of theta. So let's take this third side and write it just in terms of mg and theta, if we can. So when I look at this, I see I've got an angle. Excuse me. And again, I want to go with my simplest term, which is the mg. So if I look at theta, mg is the adjacent side. Force of tension in the x direction is the opposite side. And so I have this statement that says the tangent of an angle is equal to the measure of the opposite side. That's the force of tension in the x direction over the adjacent side. Remember, it's SOHCAHTOA. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So here's the there's the angle. The tangent of the angle is opposite over adjacent. And so I can solve for the force of tension in the x direction. It is mg times the tangent of theta. So now I have each of the sides of my conical pendulum written in terms just of m, g, and theta. And that's going to be very useful down the line. So now I actually have two ways in. So it's mv squared over r and mg tangent theta. So what I'd like you to do now is try to get this set up again. We're going to use an example of a yo-yo. Just clear this out. So we're going to take a yo-yo. We're going to hang it from a string. So we've got force of tension there. And that's our scenario. So if I was drawing a free body diagram for the yo-yo, I would have the force of tension that way and the force of gravity pulling down. That would be my free body diagram for the yo-yo that's traveling in a circle. Pretend that's a circle. But now if I actually want to work with this, I'm going to draw a right triangle and remind myself, okay, so this is the force of tension in the x direction. That's equal to mv squared over r. This is the force of tension in the y direction. That's equal to mass times gravity. But then I want to write each of these in terms of m, theta, and any physical constants. In that case, that would be g. So I want to write these just in those terms. So to write these just in those terms, well, this one already is in those terms, mg. Force of tension overall. If I want it in terms of mg, I'm going to take a look at this side. If this is my angle theta in here, I know that if this is theta, this is the adjacent side, that's the hypotenuse. So adjacent and hypotenuse, that's cosine. The cosine of theta equals the measure of the adjacent side over the measure of the hypotenuse. And then I can solve for that hypotenuse, mg over the cosine of theta. Down here, if I want this force of tension in the x direction, written just in terms of m, theta, and any physical constants like g, I look at this and I say, okay, well, in this case, I've got mg over here. This is my angle. This is the adjacent side. What I want to write is the opposite side, and opposite over adjacent is tangent. So I would say the tangent of my angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent, and then solve. My force of tension in the x direction is mg times the tangent of theta. And notice I have actually two ways now of writing that force of tension in the x direction, and that's going to become pretty handy. What you're going to be asked to do on an AP Physics free response question is probably take this information that you've just derived and then use it to find something like the velocity of the yo-yo or the length of the string in terms of other things like mg and theta. So what I suggest you do now is in your notes, just give yourself a triangle and just label it very neatly and clearly like this, with the force of tension in the y direction being equal to mg, force of tension being equal to mg over cosine theta, and the force of tension in the x direction being both equal to the centripetal force, mv squared over r, and then its other equivalent value, mg tangent theta. So if you need the reminders of where this force of tension being equal to mg over cosine theta comes from, and also the force of tension in the x direction is mg tangent theta, I have this written right here. This says, by the way, this just says cosine theta equals mg over force of tension, so the force of tension equals mg over cosine theta. And the same thing down here. This is just the word so in there, trying to show you where this came from. So that's it. Please let me know if you have questions. Bye-bye.